All right, so I know a lot of y'all are probably aspiring either business owners or just want to work for yourself, have freedom in your job, and you really want to do something that you love and not get stuck in a 9 to 5. And I thought I was going to kind of share some insight into how you could make that happen in this current day and age. Now, the biggest thing that you have to realize is that you are not going to make money if you don't provide value. Everything that sells today provides some sort of value or perceived value to the person who is purchasing it or the consumer. And so if what you want to do, there isn't a market for that sees what you are doing is valuable, then you simply will not make money, or if you do, it won't be that much. Now, there are markets that are not as valuable to many people, but you can kind of figure out ways to make what you are selling appear more valuable or appeal to a wider audience and then draw them into what you are trying to sell there. Now, the second thing that you have to realize is you need to associate your name with quality. So when people see your name or your product, they think quality. I know this guy who is posting instrumentals on YouTube, right? And, I was following his channel for a while, and it wasn't like instrumentals of songs, it was ones he created. And every time I would click on one, I knew that I was going to enjoy what he had created, because he had created this following that knew him for what type of music he was creating, and people recognize that as quality. That's kind of the biggest thing that people kind of lack today is if they're creating something, either they're doing too much of it so the quality isn't there, or they're doing that and also not focusing on building a specific kind of name for themselves and what people know them for, right? So, like I said, you first have to find a wide audience and people who will see what you are selling or your service as valuable. Then you need to get people to associate your name with quality by focusing on specifically what you are doing and kind of carving your own sort of lane in whatever kind of niche you're attempting to go for. Now, how you do this is by offering something to kind of stand out, right? And specifically how you do that is, I'll give some examples. Say that you are a aspiring musician. You want to write lyrics to songs and record them. Doesn't matter what kind of musician. Maybe you're just an artist, right? Who's trying to get their music out to the world and sell it. Okay, well, there's a lot of people doing that. And the barrier for entry is really low nowadays, since we have things like phone apps and other cheap, programs on laptops and stuff that people can use to record and produce music. So, number one, the barrier for entry is really low. So almost everyone is going to be doing that exact thing. So what you want to do to separate yourself is find something that is a little bit higher of a barrier for entry, but is still related to what you're creating. So the music. So you might try and buy a camera and create your own music videos and create your own visuals. And then you can get your name out there because people recognize how much quality you are putting into music videos, and they will basically enjoy the music that you're creating as well. You get good at shooting music videos for yourself, and maybe then you can do it for other people, but then you can also get good at producing a desired effect, or you learn how to do certain special effects in the video, and then people recognize you for the quality of your music, but also the quality of your visuals. And that will put you a step further from your competition, who are just using that low barrier for entry thing related to just producing music through their phone or, a laptop or something like that, because that's what everyone's trying to do. Now, another example of providing something different from the competition would be, say you are a web designer. You've built maybe a small following of people who like your work and, what you can kind of create in the market. And you say, okay, if you purchase a website to be built from me, I will advertise your website once I build it on like my socials, so like my Instagram. Maybe you have a YouTube where you do tutorials. Like you'll advertise, so they'll get free promotion from purchasing your website. And it kind of relates what I'm talking about when I'm saying separating yourself from the competition. It kind of relates to this book I've been reading, The 4-Hour Workweek, where it talks about how since most people see the one step further as unrealistic, most people are going to settle for the very realistic things and the very realistic goals. So that is just trying to be a web designer, not growing a social media, or, like I said, just being an artist, just making the music. And so actually the unrealistic things, buying a camera to learn how to edit your own music videos, growing a social media so that you can market that to your customers and promote their businesses once they purchase from you, that is the thing that has like no competition, because that's kind of unrealistic and it's like the step further. So for a bit more money, you can basically set yourself aside from the people that you're competing with and make yourself stand out. If you can do that, those 3 things that I mentioned. So number 1 is finding a way to provide value, whether that's a talent that you have, a skill, a service you can provide. And then 2, getting people to associate your name with quality. And 3, finding a way to make it harder for those in your same niche to compete with you. And if you can do all of those things and implement them and slowly, figure out what's working, what's not, you're probably not going to get it on your first try, right? So you might create, a social media page where you're saying, okay, I'm going to post short form content, say you're like a rug designer or something. Maybe the format that you're doing it in, you realize isn't working, so you can't really sell as many rugs. Well, then just create another one, It's all about like experimenting and figuring out what works. But those 3 biggest things are like the pillars of how to make money in our current modern day. But yeah, if you follow those steps and try and implement them into something you love doing, I guarantee you that you will see results. You might not see, crazy results in your first 8 months, year, year and a half. But if you can really focus on those, you pretty much could. And yeah, so that's basically how you can take something that you love and a skill that you have and make it into your dream job and make a living off of it.